Hello!
Hello AOS fans!
It's the Agents of Sigmar.
And in this video we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the Thricefold Discord.
So the Thricefold Discord were a warband that came out with the Deathgorge core box.
And the warband is made up of 3 Slaaneshi demons.
These 3 demons are not very good friends and they are prone to screwing with each other's plans and causing a lot of pain and suffering for each other, and they take great pleasure in that.
And they're roaming the Deathgorge trying to capture souls, 666, which seems like a suspicious number to me, in order to gain their freedom. 2 of those 3 are wizards.
A level 1 and a level 2.
And they've got a whole mix of stats. There's a 3 wound fighter, a 4 wound fighter, and a 5 wound fighter.
Lasavir is the lowest wound fighter in the troop, but has some of the best movement and some of the most accurate attacks, so very much a glass cannon.
The leader is Vixen, who has 5 wounds. He's a big lad.
He has a 1 hammer attack, so he's not very accurate, but it does do 3 damage, so he can hit people and keep them down.
And he inspires to 2 shields as well, and he has a special mechanic which makes him even harder to kill.
And the third fighter in the troop is Vretched, the level 2 caster of the group with an average number of wounds and not a bad saving throw.
No, I'd actually say Vretched was the MVP. 2 dodge, and she's got a nice range on her attack, which is quite accurate, but also she's your spellcaster. Each
fighter in the warband inspires in a slightly different way, and it's basically keyed into one of the other fighters in the same warband failing their attack or their saving throw with no successes in it, or if they die. They take such great pleasure in their other compatriots failing that it inspires them when they do so.
Yeah, they basically get off on each other's misfortune, which I guess is why they're called the Discord. Ooh. If having separate Inspire conditions wasn't complicated enough, they also have their own Locus, which is another fancy word for special rule. Vexmore has the chance to reduce damage.
Lasavir gets single supports on all of her attacks.
And Vashtis cancels one of your opponent's supports.
Along with that, they also have Temptation cards, which are gambits that you play that give your opponent a choice of 1 of 2 effects, and generally neither of them are great, so if you can position yourself right, you can give your opponent a really hard time.
They also give you the opportunity to sing.
Temptation.
Higher and higher! If the Temptation cards weren't fun enough, they also have False Gifts, which are upgrades you can give either to your fighter or your opponent's fighters, and they have quite a strong bonus, but they also have a pretty heavy negative as well. In fact, I would say that all the warbands and underworlds, they have the most interesting and fun power card suite.
So what are they good at? Well, they have got a lot of tools in their box to start with.
Yeah, they're a good flex warband. They're good at sort of sitting back and then counter-punching, tear your opponent apart. Using lots of ping damage, you can pick off people from range. Yeah, and you can do that because they've got 2 spellcasters. You can have quite a spell-heavy deck as well because you've got backup. Especially if you play, say, Force of Frost, and you've got the card to make a caster a level 2 wizard. It's really handy.
But what are they bad at?
As they've only got 3 fighters, you're never going to be able to do much objective control type play, and they're quite weak against people who are swarming onto objectives. Also, their objective suite is quite poor, so you have to find a deck which marries up quite well, so it has decent objectives if you're playing Nemesis format. And
they don't have a lot of action economy, which can be quite important in smaller warbands to help you gain a lot more manoeuvrability. And what rivals decks would they pair well with?
Well, they pair well with Force of Frost. Obviously, Force of Frost has taken a bit of a knock from various FAQs, so it's not as good as it was. But that's probably the best match. But any spell-heavy deck, so Seismic Shock's not bad. And then if you're looking at say you don't want to go down the spellcasting route, I would consider probably Fearsome Fortress.
Yeah, that gives you the option to stand back a little bit more, ping your opponent a little bit, and a lot of the cards in there help you to stay alive when you're standing on objectives, so it gives your fighters a bit more survivability.
Yeah, while they are quite good in combat, I don't think they're all that good with things like Tooth and Claw and Breakneck Slaughter, because it requires you to commit them too early and too hard, and then they start to die.
So there's our everything you need to know video about the Thricefold Discord.
It comes with the usual Agents of Sigmar caveat that we've probably forgotten something really important.
If so, please do let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and ring that bell.
And if you can, please consider supporting us on Patreon. All proceeds go straight back into the channel to make better content for you guys.
So we'll see you soon, maybe in the underworlds. Bye!